Oh, man's propensity for war. I've been a student of warfare my whole life. I don't know why, but I have been. Probably because I know that's the downfall of man, is that religion in all of its forms throughout history has caused nothing but death and destruction. Nothing good has ever come of it. Nothing. Okay? There's been more child abuse, more theft, more graft in the Catholic Church than any crime organization. People starve to death while they drink out of gold cups. People that want to preach the Bible, as far as I'm concerned, never read the Bible. Or they skip over the parts that sounds like they might be talking about them. The great liar, right? And the letters telling the churches, I'm watching you. I see what you're doing. But that's always them. It's always someone else. It's never me. That's religion. It's a terrible fucking tragedy on mankind. And I'm not talking about love of God, because I don't need religion. Number one, I haven't ever needed religion as looking for God. I needed it to have people accept my belief in God. Because when I talked about my near-death experience, I didn't need faith, and they were always talked about faith, faith, faith. I'm like, I don't need faith. I saw God. So I don't need faith. And I watched how that distorted their entire view of others, themselves, society, the world, good versus evil even. It twisted them into, I watched people go from normal, like Steve, just a great all-around guy, the kind of guy you want to marry your sister. And then religion got him, and that was it. And even to the point of being psychotic, where him and his wife, bless her heart, thought they were going to win the lottery for sure because they were going to do the right thing with the money. And that's why God was going to have them win the lottery. And I thought, okay, well, first off, what makes you more deserving than anyone else? Okay, and number two, what makes you think that God gives a shit whether you win the lottery or not? Or what you do? He's got no say-so in that. This is your choice, your decisions, and this is the problem with most religions, is they do everything in the name of God and not in the name of humanity or themselves. See, I saw God, and I can tell you right now, every religion on this planet, they're fucked. They have some suffering to do. Especially the ones that have caused death and harm in the name of God. Oh, wait till you're not human anymore and you've died. And you're someplace where there's no hiding. You're naked as naked can be. Your very thoughts are open to every sentient being in the universe. There's no escaping. You will judge yourself in a way that no one else ever could. No one judges you there. God doesn't judge you. No one there. It's just love and acceptance. They just love and accept you. It's just nothing but love. Okay, you're the one that will take that journey. You're the one that will create your own hell, and you will live every exquisite second of it for every life you've ever affected. Now, that's pretty serious. And if you've done it in the name of God, oh, well, it's going to be double bad. I've studied war my whole life, and I see it's exactly the same every single time. The motivations, the hate, the degradation of the enemy, the and military-industrial complex taking over your country's reason for existing is to be this incredibly powerful military force that can stop evil from happening. And I'm like, okay, so If I'm on the outside looking in, it looks like you're the evil empire. I've watched you go to war numerous times now. Weapons of mass destructions that didn't exist. We all knew it was all over oil. And so when I tell people, look, the United States is not fucking innocent. No state is. Okay? When you choose to war on someone else for whatever reason it has to be justified. In other words, there has to be a victim. And Desert Storm, Desert Shield, yeah, that was to get Kuwait back to Kuwait, to stop Saddam Hussein from taking over a large part, 1/5 of the world's oil production. See? There were no weapons of mass destruction. He simply wanted to go in and finish the job that his father had started, Bush Jr. You see, it's personal. It's some disease that men get. Men do not deserve to rule men. We should be able to rule ourselves, but we can't. That's why we have religion and police forces and all of this, okay? But you see, that all leads to militaries and war. It's not about policing ourselves, okay? Somebody policing is not enough. They want to be able to tell you what to do and how to do it because that's what they want you to do. I think you should do this because that's morally right. Well, for you, it's morally right. For this person, it may not be morally right. You see, if you can't get along and agree that, okay, well, I'll just stay out of your business and you stay out of mine, see? Religion doesn't want that. Religion cannot abide by that. Religion says, no, 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 the whole fucking world is going to be this way or my religion's a failure. And so religions will constantly be at warfare. Constantly. If you don't understand what's going on, in the Middle East right now, you're wrong. Russia's and Ukraine, that's a one-man, that's the ego-driven war, okay? It's sad, it really is. And I wish, if there was some, if an alien intelligence came to our planet, and I'm sure they're quite capable of doing this. I'm sure that there are species out there that are billions of years more advanced than us. They may not even need bodies anymore. I don't know. You'd have to stretch your imagination to a point where it's unstretchable. It can't stretch that far. A billion years difference in evolution would be a completely different creature. Sentience, see, is what matures in spirituality. So you create good information, you create good things in the universe and not negative things. Man. I don't see, if an alien intelligence could come, because I don't see man doing this, okay? But if an alien intelligence came and told everyone at the exact same time the exact same truth about the whys of life and how to not let the animal rule, the world would change. Because that's the only time we would. That's it. That's what it would take. It would literally take every person in the world having the same thought at the same moment about, okay, let's live on our planet a different way. Let's not let money, politics, commercialism, fetishized purchasing, power-hungry, a billionaire syndrome fucking people run the world where it's this unlimited growth forever kind of psychotic fucking thing as we're finding plastic on Mount Everest in K2. Blown there by the wind. Shit's everywhere. Our literal atmosphere, we're changing our fucking atmosphere right now, and there are minds in America that are trying to convince people, whoever they can, that it's no big deal. We've got 50 years, 100 years. They always say that, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years. And I talk about Larsen A and Larsen B. Those were supposed to melt in 50 years. And guess what? It took them just a matter of just days, and they all shattered and broke into little pieces. Okay? So, yeah, so much for 50 years. When Thwaites goes, the world changes. Everywhere in the world changes when Thwaites goes. And then everyone will be fucking panicked. You know why? Because everyone with money in Miami Beach who can no longer reside there, unless you want to build a giant wall, right? You see, that's when shit will change, and the people that will suffer again will be poor people. People living in areas now that weren't looked at as good places to live, will have good places to live. And so they'll take that property again. That's just how it goes. We're a warring species. We take, and there's usually either a religion or an economic or a deranged person who starts and propagates wars, who thinks that wars, if you prepare for a war, right? We have politicians who think there's going to be a nuclear holocaust and Jesus is going to come down from the heavens and save us. That's what they think. They believe shit that's not even in the Bible, that's supposed to be in the Bible that they believe. It's a weird sickness, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with God. I wish everyone could have a near-death experience. Maybe if an advanced species came and had everyone just take a little peek into that next existence and see the truth there, how glaringly ugly we are. Glaringly ugly. I saw my human self sitting on a bench in a most beautiful park setting. Beautiful. Everything was so beautiful. And there was the most decrepit, sad, broken, sadness. That's what I felt. Not evil. Because when I said, "Oh, who's that?" I wasn't afraid. I was like, "Oh, who's that?" They said, "Oh, you know who that is." Yeah. It's hard to think of a place where time, space doesn't exist and that it's outside of the human realm of understanding. We don't want to accept that. We'd rather have fantasy stories instead of, quantum mechanics telling us this is where God lives. We want some nut job who wants to simply tell other people how to live and then get paid for it. We need policemen. We need religion. We do. We need government. We need all the things right now, or the world would simply just fucking crumble underneath of us. We all know that. But we're not spending our money and putting our resources towards what we should. Not religion and shit. Let's free the world from the need for energy. That's the first thing. Okay? The entire world should be working on free energy, right? Little miniature suns, maybe 3 or 4 of them on the planet. Fusion powering the world. That's the first thing. We could, if we all got together and put our minds and our money towards it instead of military budgets, we took that entire amount of time, effort, manpower, and money, we'd have it solved in 10 years. There goes one problem. You can now green the desert, clean the air. There's so much you can do because you have clean, efficient energy. You can actually run air filters. You can actually try to capture some carbon. See? Basically, you have to stop people from saying, well, I'm not going to let you get from A to B unless you fucking pay me. Because this is what you're going to use to get there, because we've designed this for you to get there so that you can buy my product. They can sell you their product, and therefore you can work your way around society. And so oil companies and car companies have been like this from day one. And if you don't understand that, you're naive. Okay? That's how the world works. It works between countries the same way it does between neighbors in your neighborhood. Men are very predictable. It's our propensity for war. No one wants it, but it's funny how it just keeps on going, huh? Because there's always a driving force. There's always a driving force. And if you look at the last 5 wars we've had, including Asia, it's always driven by an evil force, basically, that benefits on war, that benefits with war. It's not God. God wants nothing to do with our whole system here. He has nothing to do with it. Okay? He is so beyond our understanding that we shouldn't contemplate him, its existence. It's this next place where I went. That's where people need to understand is that there's another dimension where life thinking the way we know right now kind of exists. Except you have all knowledge. You have access to this information that
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. What?
Nothing. It's good.
No, come here.
No. No.
Huh? I guess I should have turned my light on. I wish I just didn't understand so well. I wish I could put on some rose-colored glasses and just enjoy all the beautiful, wonderful things I have in my life. See, those things balance my wife, my grandkids. Those things balance me against the plain, simple knowledge that I have of why the world's fucked up and how easy it would be to fix if the people in power weren't protected by layer after layer after layer after layer after layer of defense, we would probably get rid of them sooner. We'd vote them out. Whatever you're going to do in your country, whatever your style is, we would probably have people who wanted to govern us working. See, if people that govern you believe the world's going to end in a nuclear disaster and Jesus is going to save us, you're lost already there, right? I mean, how do you come back from that? I don't see it. I'm sorry. Yeah. See, it's that the way people can go along, like the German people didn't want to know what was going on in the death camps. And you know as well as I do that people that lived within miles of that place had to be able to smell it. And then when the Allies came and they gathered everyone up from around the area and made them walk through the camps, then they were shocked because they had to be confronted with it and face it. This is why I think when you see warfare on TV, that's a good thing. You shouldn't watch violence porn, right, where it's just blowing shit up, but you should study why people are doing what they're doing. Who has a moral law and where matters, okay? If we're going to be an animalistic species, if we're going to make it to the next level of, existence for human beings as far as government and the world goes, if we can keep the world from killing us in some way because of what we've done to it, then there's always going to be war. And the way to fight a war is to win it decisively and as quickly as possible. Over, done deal. Okay? You simply stop your opponent's ability to make war as fast as you can. It's not about mass bombing cities and shit the way they did in World War II. That would no longer be acceptable, correct? But kind of that's what we see happening anyway, huh? Even with smart weapons, there's always going to be the innocents that suffer, always. And whether you say that it's for God or if you say it's for the almighty dollar, right? Or you try to convince people it's for their safety or whatever it is, the system regurgitates up, for the populace about this is why we're going to war. WNDs and rattling your little yellow, vials around and shit. Make people afraid. See, that system just couldn't wait to go to war. Halliburton was a big part of that. And of course, we know who really actually never divested his interest in that company. Yeah. There's always going to be war. And religion, you see, religion is supposed to stop the evils of war. There are many weapons that could be devised to kill humans. It would be inhumane, I guarantee you. And that's why you can only use certain types of ammunition, this type of thing, that we actually have rules that we agree on for war. And those need to be followed exactly and precisely. See? And maybe we make it, maybe we don't. Going to war because one fucking guy wants his ego is not a good reason. Going to war because a God that has never talked to you one time, okay, that you're going to take the lives of other human beings because this God told you to, or something one of his buddies said told you to. And I'm not talking about any certain religion. I have a list that I keep of the deaths caused by religion, okay? It's staggering, man. Fuck, it's crazy how many people have died in the name of religion, both in warfare and not in warfare. Yeah, but mostly wars. They're really good at that. Religion's really good at warfare. Well, I had to talk about that. I had to get it off my chest. The old lady doesn't want to hear about it, poor thing. Studying more really shows you the stupidity of it, the uselessness of it, the tool of fucking evil incarnate. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the way the system. I talk about it sometimes about the highway. The system that we've put in place has no off ramps. We don't have a way out that I can see. We didn't build any off ramps in this fucking capitalistic, pursuit of dig more, build more, buy more, sell more, more, until when? Well, right now we've warmed the planet, we've poisoned the planet. I talk about how much subsidence has happened in the valley right here where we grow all our food. Can you imagine one day being told you have to ration your food by the United States government? What kind of panic would happen? Can you imagine that? So think about 9 feet of water minimum, closer to 23 feet, but there'll be 9 feet minimum gain in water in a very short period of time once Larsen C and Pine Island and Thwaites go. It'll be a minimum of 23 feet height in water. there's no valley to grow food in anymore. There's subsidence is 2 feet a year. The whole valley sinks down 2 feet a year. Okay? That's a lot. They sink steel poles down to the bedrock, and then they watch the land subside around it. Well, they've been doing that for a long time. And so far, since 1922, the ground has subsided 77 feet. It's not the sedimentary basin that it used to be. It's now sunken down into what's going to become a shallow sea. There's not that many places you can grow food that aren't going to be affected in a big way by climate change. And I can tell you, people haven't seen starvation and death in the millions from starvation in a while because of the global markets, okay? But if we fuck our planet up any more than we're doing, war could become irrelevant. People would have to they'd be spending all their money on surviving, new infrastructures. If you own land in Florida, you're fucked. I did a video the other day about the line. What day is it going to be when that first person says, okay, I'm getting out now while I can? Because that's blood in the water. Okay, and pretty soon you won't be able to sell your fucking land. If you own land anywhere along the canals or the coast of Florida right now, which are selling for multi-million-dollar homes and shit, they will be fucking worthless. You won't be able to give them away. No one's going to want to live in a fucking swamp. That day is coming. And it may take a year, it may happen in a matter of weeks where, again, people will go, okay, well, fuck it. I can see what's happening. I'm getting out. You can already tell in Florida, you can't get insurance anymore because they know what's coming. They're not fucking stupid. Every hurricane that comes in is worse and worse, right? Maybe the environment, maybe our world being under threat could actually save us. Where the people just go, okay, look, we need to focus on other shit instead of trying to blow one another up or see where we draw a fucking line saying who owns what. Okay, maybe we better save our planet before we all die. Maybe that day will come, but when it does, it will be late in the game. Very, very late in the game. I can guarantee you that. Studying war my whole life has taught me how brave and courageous people can be and how fucking stupid and ugly politicians can be. Yeah. It's always the courageous and the young that go, and then they sacrifice the all. And then you have some dickwad back in Washington who's under some other dickwad, under some other dickwad, under some other guy, who's under another guy, who's with the undersecretary, who's making decisions, has no idea what's really going on because he's just a buddy of the fucking president and that's how he got the job. See, that's reality. Kind of sucks, huh? This is how my mind works. I can't escape it. To deny the truth is not an option. You have to know thy enemy, know thyself, right? This is a therapy session, and it was a good one too. I needed to talk about it. If you don't have a YouTube page, start one. It's the best thing you could do. It takes a while it kind of grows on you, I guess, but if you're just always honest and open, it's great therapy when you can be honest with the world.